Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I am a psychic medium and a magical practitioner on the nature-based path. If you are new here, I make videos about spellcasting and divination. I do a lot of dream work, and this is a second altar that I've decided to set up in my bedroom in my new apartment today. And I'm just holding my camera here. I'm behind the camera for now. I'm going to make a couple more videos on this, but I have decided to take this little table from outside. It's just an outside table I had on my patio and brought it in, and I am facing the east. So I have found an east wall, which is generally very important when you set up your altar, especially when you are a beginner. Until you get to the point where you're so connected to an altar facing east that you can imagine in your mind you're working at an altar and you feel like you're facing east. And that comes as you practice more, of course. The kids, I'm having to explain to them here that, this is my altar and it's not a toy. I actually had to swat them on the butt because I don't need them jumping up on my altar. They know what it is and they like it, but this particular carpet has no cushion whatsoever underneath it, and if my goblet fell, it would break. So, I'm really making it clear to them that this is not a play space, it's not a toy, and I've had to move their cat tree over to the opposite side of the room and my ring light in the corner there. So, life is about constantly rearranging things and making things work. So here, I know I am facing east. Let's see, when I first started, yeah, I had a bedside table. I'm thinking for a second here. It was a square table, fairly big in the corner, but as I would lay next to it or stand in front of it and do my working, which I had my pentagram on this wall, I know now that I was led to put it there because that is the east and that's where I would stand to do my workings. And then as I was laying in bed just meditating, I would be actually facing north. But in this case here, this is the east. I put some black cloth that I had on here. There's two cloths actually to cover it. I'm going to be putting a glass on it to protect the cloth. But for now, I just wanted to show you, before I create a general altar, for whatever workings you want to do, you have a general altar. This one, you can see you can use it for divination as well. I would sit on some pillows here on the floor and I could lay out my cards. Now I need more room obviously to lay out a bigger spread. If I'm doing 6 or 9 or a Celtic cross, I may not actually have enough room here. I might do it on the floor or on the bed or the dining room table. But in the beginning, it's always important, as I've said, to have a candle. This is going to activate your psychic centers. So underneath here, now I have my tarot box. Okay, that would be maybe the first thing you'd want to put there is your divination tools and a lighter. I usually get a 2 or 3 or 4 pack at the dollar store. I do not spend a lot of money on lighters, and a tea light candle is generally all you need. That's what I started with because we were poor as dirt. Okay, I can't get this lit. All right, the cats are destroying the house while I'm in the bedroom. They're naughty little children sometimes. All right, so it's very hot. Never ever leave a candle unattended. This is basically how I would start. My altar was set. I would sit on the opposite side of the bed, on the side of the bed, and then spread out my cards on the bed while the candle was on the table across from me. So you can just have that there, or you can get a plate to put it on. And if you want to magnify your intention for a money goal, you could get whatever correspondences you have, such as something yellow, something gold. This is pyrite. This is High John the Conqueror root. I've got a pair of dice you can get from the dollar store. Fake money you can get from the dollar store. Tiger's eye is good. Or you can just draw a dollar sign on a piece of paper and put that here. You get yourself in a relaxed state, and then you would pull 3, 4, 6, 9 cards, whatever it was. If you do like a 7-card spread for the week, you could go at an angle. You could also take your incense and you could burn that as well, or some type of oil instead of incense smoke to burn while you're doing this. This is just a first little example here, and I want to now set up a general altar. All right, my familiars were really distracting me. I apologize. I wanted to show you a few more things, and that is you can also put your candle on a mirror, and you can put all of your corresponding items that you have for your intention also on the mirror, which is said to reflect your desire to the astral plane while you are working. And yes, you are working when you are reading your cards to see what step you need to take next on your goal, your money goal, your work goal, whatever it is that's related to your finance. Also, I keep a little piece of spaghetti because sometimes I have a very tall or a very deep candle that I cannot just take a lighter and try to light without burning my hand. So I will light the spaghetti stick and then go in and light the wick that way. I've made a couple of videos over the past year or two on how to set up a general altar. A couple years ago, I did it on my sofa, I believe, at my mobile home, and then recently with an altar cloth that I bought from my supplier. I was going to sell it in a kit, but you know, it's going to be really a little bit easier for me, I think, to offer more products in one place. So I'm going to offer the altar up on my new web shop, and it has the pentagram already stitched in it, and it's kind of a velvet. And then I do recommend, or I recommended, that you put a piece of glass. But when you first start, okay, it will evolve over the years. You just get your things started. And I've told the story where I literally took boxes from the shed, piled them up in the corner beside my bed, put a piece of wood, put a scarf over that, and got a blue candle from the dollar store. And I would light that and lay next to it at night and relax before I went to bed. That is where I began trying to unravel my life and improve my circumstances, because they were just getting worse each year. So when I realized that I was on this path and I had been led to the pentagram, which is the star hanging over my other altar, I just wanted to get a Christmas decoration for the yard. Was really, you know, not quite understanding totally witchcraft. And so I was being gently guided. And then I brought it in the house, and, you know, one thing led to another, month after month. And I realized it's a very important symbol of what I've come to learn is not just man, but the elements, both man and the elements, and in fact, our connectedness to everything. So I sort of call it the cosmic web. And it was my icon for my YouTube channel for a while. So that is generally placed in the center of your altar, and you can draw it on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter. Whatever you decide. This I actually got at the Halloween store one year, and it's something that I can wear when I'm doing a spell or a ritual. But I have it here in the center for now. I normally just had my large pentagram right there on the wall above my altar. So from there, you're just going to really find some inexpensive way to get candle holders. Please excuse the mess, but the representation of the dualities in the form of a person, the god and the goddess, the opposites that live within all of us, okay? That's the basis of this practice, are represented by the two candles. They can be black and white, or they can be black and red, whichever tradition you feel led to. I was being led to black and red. I was led to put a red cloth on top of a black one intuitively, and I worked a lot with red candles and black candles. So I now do work with red and black. I also have my spiritual parents for the god and the goddess, but they're on a separate altar behind me. So you would get your candles, which I will have to stop the camera and go and get them to set that up. That is your next thing. So here we have this set up with the long taper candles that I have, the black and the red. The red is for willpower and the black is for the all. The will is what I had to really work on, and I think that a lot of us need to either learn how to control our will or release it because we've been oppressed for so many years. As you can see, I do now have another representation of what could be a deity or a god or a goddess or someone else, but here it is my power animal, which is wolf. I've also discovered the cats have broken my candle holder, and fortunately I can go get another one at the Dollar Tree for $1. I'm about to jump out of my skin here. We're not in quarantine, but as I've stated recently, work has sort of ended. Things are changing for me, and the heavens have been indicating that for some people something will end and you're just going to have to figure out something else to do. So I've been home for several weeks working on my business and about ready to jump out of my skin. So all the more reason for me to create another altar where I can sit and meditate and before I go to bed. All right, so that's the next thing. Okay, I've got a few things under the table here now. Your representation of air is going to be on the right side of your altar, which is going to represent east. You are facing east. So, you could say this is also going to kind of face east. I worked with incense sticks in the beginning, and I did get an incense holder. There's different kinds at the dollar stores. This one actually holds sticks of incense, and then I can have one here ready to go. And I also had my lighter in there so that I had everything I needed right there when I was ready to perform my ritual. Now, in lieu of this, you can, of course, use other things. You've got your little incense holder here, and you've got some little cones of incense, also inexpensive to buy. As the months went by, I really couldn't have incense going for very long, especially with my son and his asthma. So you really just need to start it for a minute or two. Open a window, make sure you've got air circulating. I like these. I would like to get a bigger one though. Let's see, you put these under here next. You could also get an ashtray if you have to at the dollar store. I found this seashell at the dollar store, which I just love anything that has to do with the sea and the ocean. And so I was using this for my incense for a while with my cones. And then eventually for my charcoal, when I started to experiment with using charcoal and sprinkling resins or other things on top of the charcoal. Here I have onion skins, which are said to help remove negativity for your business, to help you with your business. All right, so that's just another example. You can get some type of a cup if you want and put salt or put sand or dirt from outside, and then stick your incense stick in it or your cone. See, as long as you've got some support and something to catch the ashes and keep it relatively clean, that is your next thing. Okay, what's next? Representing the elements and the directions. Water. Water goes to the west, and you can use just about anything. A shot glass, a cup. This is a empty candle holder because I have a candle habit, and when I buy candles inside of a holder, I save the holder and I wash them. So yeah, when you're starting out, it's important to realize you do not have to spend a fortune. Now, I do have a beautiful dragon goblet on my web shop that would go wonderfully with the black and red theme, especially if you like dragons or things of that nature. Now, the next thing we need to do is charge the water. Now, I boil my water on my stove to remove as many things as I can. I try to buy purified drinking water often. You could use distilled water, but my boiled water is in here. Now, even though it's boiled, I can end up getting hard water deposits on the glass, and so I have to take some vinegar, put it in there for a minute, let it sit, wipe it out, rinse it, and then put the water in. Believe it or not, you should not use table salt. I'm going to tell you why. Sea salt is going to give you what you need in your water goblet, and that is an electromagnetic quality. Let me take this stick. If you watch Bill Nye the Science Guy, he talks about putting salt in water electromagnifies the water. And one thing you want to have at your altar is energy. Now, I was led to purchase a blue goblet, I think because I'm a dream worker, in the very beginning, and I got it for like $1 at Goodwill. And if you've been following me for a while, you know this is what I gaze upon at night before I go to sleep when I'm doing, I have a question or I've done a divination. Then I will put a candle here, which is south, and I will gaze at the reflection of the candle on the goblet. So that's what is next. You can place your tea light candle in its own holder here, directly on the cloth. I would say that you should eventually see about getting some type of a glass to cover your cloth and prevent wax and fire onto your cloth. You can place the tea light candle on some type of a candle holder like that, or whatever candle you decide to use. You can also, again, use a mirror. This also gives it more of a surface in case it does splatter and spit. And there you have it, your general altar. One more thing I almost forgot. Please forgive me. The direction north. North. You can use salt or you can use dirt. So now my friend was here the other night and she went out on the patio to have a cigarette, and she is the pet psychic, and Jade went out with her, and so she said Jade's hearing a popping. She's going over to this plant. The plant is popping. And I said, really? Must be a spirit that wants to talk to me, right? Get in touch with me or something. So I brought the plant in and then I put it back out, and I thought, well, I don't have dirt. How am I going to get dirt? And then I remembered this plant that they said was popping. So, you know, I work very much with the elements in nature. So this is what I'm going to use. I don't think this will really be a wand, but I'm going to break this apart. Okay, whatever spirits were popping, I said thank you. And here they are. Or whoever it was that did that. I brought the dirt in, and there it is on the direction north. And I have had some miraculous, phenomenal things happen at my altar. In particular, one time with dirt, and an item that I put in the dirt to be charged, and then I laid next to my altar to relax and meditate next to it afterwards, and started hearing things as the item was being charged. So I recommend that you put a candle, tea light candle, for a few minutes every day to get your area becoming charged as an energy vortex for you to connect with the elements, ancestors, spirit guides, angels, or just a general working. That's it. Thank you very much.